question number one that I have is this person's working with an 8-year-old boy who's having separation anxiety when he's away from his mom and dad. He asks what time it is and then what time he'll be finished, where mom and dad are, et cetera, et cetera. Do you have any ideas or resources on how to combat separation anxiety?
What's the behavioral definition of separation anxiety?
Oh, you're too smart, Shira. You're too smart. Um, Honestly, like if I were to define separation anxiety, it would be what I see anyways is at work. You get these 2 and 3-year-olds, and sometimes you get older kids as well, but you get these really young kids who are first have a diagnosis and parents have to drop off. And before COVID, we would say, okay, well, come on into the clinic and sit with the child for 5-10 minutes, get adjusted. And we're pairing with parents as well. And then okay, we get them interested, we get the kids interested in a toy, the parents can leave. Well, since COVID's happened, we still have a policy where there's no outside people in, so parents can't even stay. So I can't even imagine, as a parent, you drop off your 2-year-old to this center that you don't even know. You've talked to me on the phone, maybe a Zoom call, and then they're dropping off their child and they just need to leave. I can't imagine from the parents' perspective, and I can't imagine from the kids' perspective how scary that must be. So I get it. I absolutely get it. So, Shira, to go back to your operational definition of separation anxiety, it looks something like this. It's
Yeah,
probably
but I do think it's important to analyze it behaviorally, right? Like, what is it really about separating from the parent, or is there some other function at play? Sometimes it's the parent, and it's not even the kid. Sometimes it's the parent who's reinforcing that behavior and who is having the trouble separating. So it is still important to look at it from a behavioral definition and what really is the function.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, because it isn't always about the function of separation. It could be about the function of attention. So every time I ask a question, you're going to answer my question, and then that functions as conversation as well.
Mhm. Or
Absolutely.
or maybe if they have a tantrum when they get there, they get access to their most preferred because somebody wants them to stop screaming. So, yeah, those are all important factors.
Or they get out of work altogether.
Right.
Absolutely. So, yeah, so definitely, absolutely analyze the function beyond the separation anxiety. Other things that you can do is, if the definition of separation anxiety is just asking repetitive questions, my suggestion would be to, try and ease anxiety by writing it down. So, okay, so dad's coming at 3 o'clock. Write it down like dad equals 3 p.m. and then put that sticker on a clock somewhere, or put a timer and say, okay, when the timer goes off, or a time timer, one of those visual displays, like this is how much longer. And then if the child asks again, like, when's dad coming? When do I get to go home? Instead of answering, just point to the timer and say, remember, or hey, check your sticky note, that type of thing.
Yeah, and I like the other option also. If it's really hard and the child is really having a hard time, start with the smallest amount of time that they could be successful with separating. So maybe they need to start by having the parent drop them off for only 10 minutes, and then they leave and they come back. And you want to start successful because it's better to add and to build than to take away. Like if they drop their child off for 3 hours and they spend 3 hours crying, and then they say, oh, you know what, maybe we should only go down to 1 hour. That's really not ideal. So better to start with a small interval of time and be successful, and then add on as you go.
Yeah, absolutely.